You are not ready. This is an emergency. This is an emergency. This is an emergency.
Watch it roll.
This is an emergency.
Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it. Watch it roll.
This is an emergency.
Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it. Watch it roll.
This is an emergency.
Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. You should kill it all. Kill it all. Kill it all. You should kill it all. Kill it all. Kill it all. What's up, shorty? Excuse my grammar. Can't help but notice you's a bad man. No jammer. If I take you home, I'ma drop that hammer. My swag got flash like a room full of cameras. Baby, you can be a trainer. Pop it, drop it, let me in. Haters hate it when winners win. So pop that booty in. Do it again. And I love how you make those haters mad. Built like a stallion and she so bad. Ugly chicks, they gon' feel sad, cause she got something that they wish they had. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll. You so dope, you can be a model. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll. Booty so big, it can hold a bottle. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll.
This is an emergency.
Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll.
This is an emergency.
Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll. Watch it roll. Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll. Watch it roll. Pop it, drop it, watch it roll. Watch it roll. Watch it roll.
This is an emergency.
Kill it all. Kill it all. Kill it all.
This is an emergency.
Kill it all. Kill it all. Kill it all.
This is an emergency.
Kill it all. Kill it all. Kill it all.
This is an emergency.
Kill it all. Kill it all. Kill it all. Yeah.
What is going on, everybody, man? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Nashville Cavemen podcast. I am one of your hosts, Damo Unleashed, and I'm here with a good friend I consider like a brother. So I'm going to go ahead, roll out the red carpet, and let him introduce himself. So, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Damo, cuz thank God that we've seen another week, another day, that we are here to do this show. I enjoy this show every Tuesday. So most people know two things. One, I'm a music publisher, and two, I'm a pro wrestler. So as a music publisher, my job is to take your catalog, pitch it to movies, other artists, pitch it to commercials, things like that, so you can get royalties come flowing every 6 months, whether you with BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, plus get you on the radio. So instead of me trying to pitch you to all the radios around the world, I started my own radio station. We have two shows, Hard Hitter radio show and the D-Bling radio show. We take your music, we put it in a pot, we spin them on both shows, we keep them in rotation, and then after that, we put it on offtoprecords.net. That's just a network, sort of like iTunes and what's that other one? The Jay-Z and them have Tidal, where people can come, listen, stream, or download the music. And of course, once I'm done, then Mr. Damo over here will interview you, play your music video, and put you in a hat or whatever we call it back in the day, where people can come vote for male, female, for male artists of the year, female artists of the year, any genre. This is our first annual time doing this, the inaugural one. So how special would that be for you to be the very first? You might not be the only when it's all said and done, but you'll be the very first to say that you was male, female, male artist of the year, female artist of the year. Secondly, shouts out to Swag Wrestling Saturday. I was at Swag Wrestling. My group CAI. It was me and Classic Man versus T-Dog and Jennifer Justice. They kind of, in my opinion, cheated, but they ended up getting the win, and that's okay. You can't win. Sky Black can't win them all, right? You can't. Right. So my next match versus T-Dog will be for the Swag Southern Heavyweight Championship, the belt that I never lost because I got injured. I broke my wrist, so I had to relinquish all my belts. I have 3 belts at the time. I had to relinquish them all. So I never lost. He's never beaten me. So May 11th, down at Swag, it will be a strap match. And since he won, he came up with the stipulation it's going to be a fan strap match. So when y'all get down there, they're going to raffle the tickets off, and whoever the numbers they call out, y'all get to stand around the ring, and whatever wrestler gets thrown out of the ring, y'all get to beat them with the belts. That is fine. But, and then Sunday, shouts out to No Limit Pro. I went one-on-one with a guy named D'Amico, and my belt was on the line, and the only thing I can tell you is I hope y'all didn't think that I was going to lose it, right? It's still here. It's still home with Sky Black. So, nice try, D'Amico. And yes, you get a rematch somewhere down the line because they claim that me and CAI cheated for me to keep the belt. Carnage, who's a part of CAI, is now the No Limit Pro World Heavyweight Champion. Sky Black is the No Limit Pro Broken Limits Heavyweight Champion. And our tag team, JDV and Carnage Michaels, they are now the No Limit Pro Tag Team Champion. So CAI has all the gold when it comes to No Limit Pro. Every No Limit Pro belt we have. So hopefully, Lord willing, by May the 11th, that's on a Saturday. So 12, 13, 14. So May 14th, when we do the show Tuesday, hopefully I'll be this champion and I'll be the Swag Southern Heavyweight Champion. So that's the news, the update for the wrestling part. So,
Nice.
So when y'all listen to other podcasts and y'all say, well, what's the difference between the Nashville Cavemen and everything else? The Nashville Cavemen, we're champions. This belt just ain't for me. This belt is for Damo. This belt is for this podcast. This belt is for everybody who has supported Sky Black for the whole 14 months I was down. Even when I used to do the radio show at that other station, I used to tell you when I won belts, it was for the TV show down there and the radio show down there because they was a part of me. This is a part of me. So not only am I a champion, Damo is a champion, Nashville Caveman is a champion, and everybody who support us and listen to us and share us, y'all are champions with us. So that's the difference between this podcast and the other ones. They don't have champions on their podcast. There you go.
Speaking of champions, man, if y'all missed it, the NFL draft was this past Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
So, how did you think your team did? What grade would you give them? Did you pay attention to it at all?
Yeah, I did. I can't even remember who they drafted, to be honest. It wasn't a quarterback, right? Was it a quarterback?
I can't remember if they got a quarterback.
I can't remember what Denver drafted. I don't even remember. But as far as my team in general, as long as Kansas City's on fire, we in trouble. Us, the Raiders, we in trouble because we still in that rebuilding stage. The Chargers might be a wild card team, but Kansas City has that division sold up for at least another year or two. It's just what it is. So we basically just playing.
I'm ticked up at the Raiders. The Raiders ticked me up.
And they're thinking about adding another week. They're going to go to like 19 weeks now. And 2 preseason games. Because last season was 18 weeks, right? So a team could go 9-8, which was 17 games. Now they think about having 19 weeks. So now a team can go 9-9, which is 18 games. You know what I'm saying? So if this year they go 19 weeks, then all we can do is hope Denver goes 9-9. And then they think about pushing the Super Bowl back a little bit further. Because, it's always usually the first weekend or the second weekend of February. The thing about pushing it a little bit further down, So the NFL got a lot of changes coming.
Wow, and all of this supposed to be next year? Supposed to be?
Now, the expansion to the 18th game, I don't know. I know it's coming. But I don't know if it's this fall coming up, if it's this August coming up. I mean, September. But it might be 2025 then, if it's not 2024. Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, that's, like they say, them guys be having very short-lived careers. On average, I think the average life expectancy is 4 years in the NFL?
For a running back, yes, it's about 5 seasons for a running back because they take a lot of pounding. For offensive linemen, I don't know. And now for the quarterbacks, they're so protected now. You could play 10, 15 years if you really that good. You could. I mean, look at Kirk Cousins. He's probably going into his 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. With the
I thought he had more years than that. I thought he was more like 15, 16.
He might be. He might be. I've never kept up his career that long, but he might be. You could be right.
Yeah, a lot of these quarterbacks are going into their 40s, so you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't hit them at all.
Yeah. I mean, mine of all time, John Elway, he retired at 38. After he won back Super Bowls, he said, I can't do it no more. I'm done, But now, with the rule changes, you might can't play till you're 45. Because some of them did. Vinny Testaverde did. I mean, a lot of them did play until their 40s, back in those days.
Man, you know what, Sky? I was having this conversation with this guy today. Do you think that the NFL and NBA needs to separate itself away from Vegas? Do you think it's an issue now with, there being a partnership with sports? Because I think we talked about this before.
Truthfully, all they did was just bring it to the surface. They've always been partnerships.
Sports,
yeah. So now all of a sudden they found a legal way to bring it to the public. That's all they done. Vegas betting. We all know that half of the teams, the older teams that started in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, were started by the mob so they could gamble. Because if you wasn't a rich white man, and if you wasn't a gangster, who had money to start a league? The government didn't at the time. The government didn't have that much money. So when Vegas was started, that was just another way to help collect revenue so all these gangsters and mobsters could gamble. And a lot of people didn't know that. But now they just brought it to the public. Yeah, Vegas is a part. You've been a part of it. You secretly, under the table, have been a part of every sport. I mean, lacrosse. I mean, just any flag football. You secretly been a part of all that stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you just want to say, hey, here we are. Okay, yeah, now you open up the curtain and it came out. So, yeah, even if I was against it, Damo, ain't nothing I can do about it. They going to always be there. Yeah. But what was the point he was trying to make?
Man, he was just talking about as far as like him gambling, that he had no interest in it because he felt like even the Super Bowl was set up. Like the Lions,
Sports entertainment. Oh, yeah. Just like the other day, right? They kept saying the Nuggets are going to sweep. The Nuggets are going to sweep. I said, no, they're not. LeBron is the face of this league. They're not going to he can get swept in round 2, 3, or 4, but they're not going to let him get swept in the first round. And I'll be damn Saturday when I was at Swag, they beat the Nuggets. And then Monday, the Nuggets finally put them out of their misery.
Because you know what? That's the one thing that LeBron got that he can say that, because I don't think has he been swept in the first round? I think they did.
Never in the first round. Never, no.
Never in the first?
He's been swept in the finals, and then last year Denver swept them in the if it wasn't the conference finals, it might have been the
semi-conference or the divisional.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're right because they beat Memphis to get to that next round. Yeah. So that's the one thing. You're right. That's the.
I want to say last year Denver beat the Nuggets in the conference championship. I think that's what I want to say. I think they met in the conference championship, the Western Conference Championship last year, and Denver swept them there. But they're not going to let LeBron James, whether you like him or don't like him, he is, and whether you think he's the best basketball player in the world or not, he is the face of the NBA, and there's no way he's going to get swept in the first round. So I knew that wasn't going to happen.
And that's the one thing in the legacy, when we're debating legacies, that you can argue for LeBron that you can't, that Jordan don't have. Because Jordan did get swept in the first round of the playoffs. So that's the one thing that they could say, even though they say, well, LeBron didn't win as many championships as Jordan and whatnot, but that's the one point they can make. Well, LeBron never got swept in the first round.
Correct.
So
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And so I believe a lot of it is sort of predetermined. I mean, as a kid, I would have never believed it, but now as an adult in the wrestling industry, I see some of the tricks. And so, I do believe that, I do. Somebody's pulling the strings.
Yeah, and that's why I think I stay out of betting also. Somebody, I had that itchy fingers to do it, but I was like, nah. Nah, it's like playing the lottery, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
I don't even play scratch outs, Damo. Like, I don't bet at all. I'm such a square. I'm so boring, you know. Have you ever watched the movie The Hitman's Bodyguard?
Yeah.
You remember what he said at the very beginning? Boring is the best. That's me. Boring.
That's me too. That's me too, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with boring.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
And y'all definitely not gonna be.
Yeah.
This show, man, we got some interesting topics. So, one of them is, should the country legalize polygamy? We're gonna talk about that. Should they legalize polygamy? What do we need to teach our kids when it comes to dealing with police? Because I think for the most part, especially in the minority community, we are doing a horrible job at teaching our children how to deal with police when they have encounters with them. Another one, I think this is a good question. Would you date someone who is popular online for having sexually explicit content? That means they were famous on OnlyFans or Instagram, and it was all due to sexually explicit content. Could you see yourself being in a serious relationship with somebody like that? And the last but not least, what benefits do men gain from dating? When I look at dating nowadays and I ask myself, and I listen to like all these people's philosophy when it comes to dating, and I think, damn, what do men really gain from that shit? What do they get out of dating? So that's something else we're going to talk about.
Well, then, amen. Let's not hold the people up. Let's get them started.
So the first one, right?
Right.
And me and you can bounce back and forth and play devil's advocate. But should the country legalize polygamy? And the reason why I asked that question, and this came in the conversation I had, marriage doesn't have any definition anymore. The moment they legalize same-sex marriage, right? The initial definition or rule for marriage was thrown out the window. So now there is no rule when it comes to marriage. So should everybody just be able to get married the way they see fit? Meaning that if I had this flip-flop right here and I wanted to marry this flip-flop, should I have the choice? Now y'all might look at me like I'm batshit crazy, but should I have the choice that if I want to marry this flip-flop that I want to marry?
Right.
Who has the right to say I'm right or wrong? Or that you're right or wrong in your view of marriage?
Right. Well, then let's start out with your flip-flop, because if it goes that far, what about these crazy people out in the county that's having sex with animals?
Bestiality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then they would be like, well, I love this cow. I want to marry this cow. So I think a line has to be drawn somewhere, I believe. I believe, you know what I'm saying? But polygamy to me is no different than marijuana, right? When marijuana started to become legal, certain states says, yes, it's legal, but the federal government said no. Well, the only one state it's legal in is Utah, the Mormons. So I would have to see.
It's legal in Utah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That state is legal. Yes. The Mormons, they do. They have multiple. They have polygamy. I would have to see how it worked for them, because is it, you know how you watch movies and you have the kings and the kings got all these wives, but they only show the good parts because it's a movie. What other bad parts are having multiple wives? I don't know that, because every time I see an Egyptian movie and this Egyptian king is walking around, he got 20 wives and he can choose from. But what is the bad part about polygamy? I don't know that. So to answer your question, should I think they should legalize it? I don't know, man, because I've never had multiple girlfriends, multiple wives. I've never had that. So you legalize it, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, this is some bull. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I don't know.
Now play devil's advocate. Let me take my book, cut it up. Let's play devil's advocate. Right. I was actually having this conversation with a young lady on Beagle, and it was a really, really good conversation. Now she's into having polygamy relationships.
Right.
I just, I ain't never experienced that. It's a lot to have two women, you know what I'm saying, to me.
Right.
But playing devil's advocate, I think it may work out and be better for a lot of people. And let me explain. There are a lot of dudes that was in a relationship with a woman, right? And they were sexually active 4 or 5 times a week. Get married, have a child, have 2 kids. Now all of a sudden the woman's tired all the time. Her body chemistry didn't change. She don't feel like having sex the way that she used to prior to marriage.
Right.
And there's dudes literally out here that are in marriages and relationships, right? Well, mostly marriages, that they haven't laid with their wives in months.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, in a situation like that, I think it would be beneficial to the woman. And I say that to say this: if you don't feel like it, tag team partner somebody else in.
Right.
If you don't feel like cooking, because there's women that just complain about how I gotta cook and clean every day. Well, maybe you don't like clean. Maybe wife number 2 loves cleaning.
Right.
So she can take up the cleaning duties. Maybe you're a great cook. Maybe, and you love to cook. Maybe she don't like to cook. You can cook.
Correct. You're right. As far as on the man side, they would be like, yeah, because there used to be a show on HBO called Big Love about Mormons and having multiple wives, and you're right. They agreed, but they didn't have a choice. But the women agreed that, okay, you have him Tuesday, you have him Thursday, you have him Sunday. I cook this day, I cook. But the women were all in agreement. It was a lifestyle, sort of like an Amish place in Tennessee. Is all they know is this lifestyle. So all this little town knew was polygamy. So it was a lifestyle. They didn't know nothing else outside of that. Now, you take an American woman, one girl told me love means ownership, right? When you love something, you want ownership of it. And most women, they only want that one man, right? They don't want their man to be shared with other women. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't know if it would work with the average American woman, because in her mind, that's my man. And even if I go
that is an interesting point.
Right. And even if I go a year without having sex with him, he still doesn't have the right to go cheat on me with another woman. Now, there are some people that open relationships now. Damo, there's open relationships.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that point up, because there are a lot of women that don't want to share a man and end up sharing them anyway. Right?
Right.
And so I asked this question. Would you be more happy sharing him with women that you were familiar with?
Right.
Or him just being out here and you don't know what he's dipping his stick into?
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? And it was good because in a conversation I had earlier, a gentleman jumped on the panel, and I wanted to get his perspective on this. If you could have 5 wives, you picking these women, and there has to be some kind of limit. Of course, you can't have one dude with 10 women. It ain't gonna work. So I do think that if they legalized it, it should be a cap. And the cap should be no more than 5 women. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say 4, if you want to say 6, fine. But it should be around that number. But I asked him, I was like, well, if you had 5 women, could you see yourself still going out here and cheating? What's the likelihood of you wanting to go out here and cheat? Right. And he was like, man, I don't think looking at it, having to come home and tend to 5 women, I couldn't see myself even having time to be out here dealing with anything extra. Because not only do I got to take care of each of these women and make sure they are content, right? But then the kids also. And I was thinking, well, a lot of y'all don't like, y'all, frown at polygamy but y'all really kind of got kids with multiple people anyway. So you kind of in a polygamy thing. You just not really, it's open, it's out, it's not closed in. It's not in one house.
Right.
So for example, if you got a dude out here, they got 4 of y'all pregnant. The only difference is y'all not married. And instead of y'all working together, saying like, instead of you having a household and your financial responsibility, her financial responsibility, hers and hers, well, if y'all all live together, all of a sudden, y'all will be splitting rent, bills, groceries, right? And all of y'all will have more money. So that means if you had your money to go shopping, you will be able to not only have your living expenses, especially if all of y'all under the same roof, right? But then you will have your extra money to go do what you want to do with.
Right. I didn't think about the kid part because at least right now, if a guy fathers 4 kids by 4 different women, he can be on the run, and then these women have to chase him for child support. But if he's in a marriage situation with these 4 women in the same household, woo, Jesus Christ.
And all of them get to see their daddy. All the kids get to see their daddy.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the other point. I ain't mean to cut you off, Sky, but here's the other point that I know you may not have thought about, and I know a lot of other people not thinking about. You always have somebody to watch the children. So say if there was a night where you just wanted to go out to yourself and have drinks, or you wanted to just have some you time, y'all can set that up.
I now, for me, I don't think that I could live that lifestyle, because then how would the divorce work? If it don't work out with one, when I divorce, do I have to divorce them all at once, or can I divorce them individually? And then if I divorce one individually, can I replace her with somebody else and marry her? You see what I'm saying?
I think that's how it should go.
I think
that's how it should go.
My Lord, I don't know, because what if you got 4 women and you got 4 kids by each woman? That's 16. Come on, that's a lot of children.
Let me say this. Here's the crazy part, and this is why I think this is something else. Say if you did have 4 wives, okay, going into year 5, you know, wife 3 said, "I don't think this is for me. I want to go ahead and get a divorce." Well, she should have been saved up enough money to be able to go out on her own. Because now remember, if all of y'all are splitting the bills, she should have a nest egg saved up to be able to do it. To where the government don't have to get involved. I don't even think the government should be involved in traditional divorces. I don't. Right? And I think the person is the one that wants to walk away should be the one that walk away, you know what I'm saying, with not really much resources. Leave the resources behind. Now, if it was out of a violent nature, like, you know, we're talking about safety and you had to get a divorce, right? That's different. But if it would have to do with something where you're not happy or you're not content, and it's something emotional reason, I think you should say, well, you know what, since I'm the one leaving, I'm gonna take what, you know what I'm saying, what I had and just go. Everything else, I'm gonna leave it to y'all. Y'all do with it what y'all see fit.
Right. And then they gotta add the feminists in there, because if they even thought about legalizing that, man, they would go crazy. Because that is the opposite spectrum of being a feminist. To be a woman, oh my Lord. So then you would have to have them all up in your face and anything that they want to say, which is probably some in Utah. Hell, I don't know. But I've never met a man from Utah or in the Mormon belief, because a lot of people who believe in monogamy is mostly Christians. Not all, but mostly. And then you have people that believe in polygamy. How Christian are they versus the ones who believe in just marriage between a man and a woman? Then if we allow that, what about the homosexuals? Can a gay man marry 3-4 men? Can a lesbian marry 3-4 women?
Well,
so to me, there's a lot of variables in that.
And I think that's where, because they have already opened up Pandora's box when they just said same-sex marriages. So if it's not going to be, if you're not going to go by the Christian belief of marriage between the union between the man and woman, then there is no belief. You understand what I'm saying? And people don't think about that. Even the Christians that get married. Some of y'all Christians, but then, what do y'all think for better or worse? When things get worse is when y'all want to leave it. So if you're not going by the vow that you got with God anyway, and obviously the majority of people don't, because divorce is way over 50%, right?
Way over.
So Christianity and religion is totally out of this now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In this country, we can't even use the argument of religion with the numbers that high. The number of divorce is way over. And some of y'all sharing anyway. So you sharing, I don't like to share. But then you got she's sharing the baby daddy, right?
Right.
Or you got a husband, but you sharing your husband with another woman.
Right.
And the question, and the reason why I'm playing devil's advocate is, and I pose this question, would you rather share them with somebody you're sharing them with? Or would you rather him share them with somebody you don't know who he with? It could be a co-worker. It could be a prostitute that he see on, on Dickerson Road. You don't know what, that he messing with.
That's why I tell people we living in hell. I tell folks I don't believe in the traditional hell. I don't believe in the traditional hell. I don't believe in a place where my soul is going to burn forever. I've never believed that. This in this body on this earth is hell, because like you said, there's no way to win. It's too many variables coming at you to win. So whether you believe you could have multiple partners or whether you only want to share, because even if you have multiple partners, right? Let's say I have 4 or 5 wives. Hell, they still might go out and cheat. I still might go out and cheat on a 6th woman with a 6th woman. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's just
the crazy part.
Crazy.
You know what's so crazy, Sky?
What's that?
Is this is the point that's really scary. You're absolutely right. Somebody was asking, well, do you think that will work? And by majority, I don't think it will work. And I don't think it will work, not because of men. I think it wouldn't work because I think the majority of females are unstable emotionally.
Right.
Meaning a lot of them have very big insecure issues. The majority of them. Because anybody that get the intuition to want to look through your phone or want to sit up under you all the time, or, everywhere you go, man, where you going? I'm going with you. You know what I'm saying? Or where you been? You've been gone for 30 minutes. Where was you at? Anybody that do that got major insecure issues. And I don't think, whether it's polygamy, whether it's traditional, no matter what it is, I don't think people that's like that should be in a relationship at all. They shouldn't be in a marriage at all. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to destroy their own relationships and marriage. I always say this. I don't worry about what somebody's doing because I'm not with that person all the time anyway. I think it's foolish for anybody to think that somebody is committed and they don't know. You don't know for sure. You're not with that person. That person got to go to work. You don't know if the janitor pulled your woman into a closet, bang, cracked them sheets real quick, and then she went back out and started typing again like nothing happened. You don't know.
That's absolutely correct. And so that's why I always tell men that are about to get married, you make sure you have a separate bank account that she don't know about. You better have a plan B that she don't know about. You better have a prenup or some type of prenup because, again, like you said, the divorce rates are so high. She'll love you today, but 5 years later, she don't want to be with you, fine. There's the door. And it's sad that in 2024, the way I think, I would have to treat a marriage like a business. I would. The day you want to do business with me, you can go. I'm not gonna be sitting in front of a judge and she's talking about they're gonna take half of what I worked hard for. No. For we think about getting married, you first sign a prenup. And a lot of people don't want to sign prenup because they don't have a lot of assets, Damo. You know, when you talk to a girl and like, you don't trust me? No, it's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust the devil that's inside of you. And I've worked hard for what the assets I have. Then what we gotten together, you can take half, I can take half. But before we came to the table, everything that I have, you are not touching. And I don't want nothing that you've done before before we got together too. So if a lot of more men and a lot of more women start to learn the difference between assets and liabilities, more prenups would happen. But back to what you were saying, the divorce rate is so high, even if you have one wife or multiple wives, you're going to probably get divorced in 5 years. You're going to divorce that one wife. You're going to divorce one of those wives.
It's way highly, but and this is where I was playing devil's advocate financially. It's just like, and I watched this or, started this watching Hispanics. They'll go and live 5 to a house. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And everybody split all the bills. So that means what? They each have more money. Because it's different when you slicing the pie between 2 people than if you slicing it between 5 or 6.
That's absolutely right.
So say, for example, one of my checks, I get paid twice. Let's say I get paid twice a month. Well, one of my checks will go toward where? The house. That's the mortgage or whatever, rent, however you got it set up. Water, electric, food, gas, all the necessities. Right. So say if I was putting in $2,000 every month, she was putting in $2,000, her, and her, that's $12,000 that we covering our house, food, everything, right?
Right.
That means the other $2,000 is going where?
Should be some savings, right?
Savings. So say if we were together 5 years and one party wanted to leave, if this is about assets, well, this person over here that saved enough where they can go out and leave.
Right.
And not it be a financial issue.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And that just goes how people spend their money.
Exactly. So I actually think it would actually work out better. And that's why I wanted to play that. I was like, man, because always, I see online, especially on Facebook, you see that being more and more of a topic. And so I sit back, and this is not, I don't want y'all to be like, oh, dang, he interested in doing that shit. No. But I was like, wow, I could see benefits to it. Even for women. Even though women just be like, nah, I don't want to share, but y'all sharing anyway. Y'all baby daddy. The person y'all have.
Swinging. I know couples that swing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And think about this too. The person you with, it ain't like you got them as a virgin. They done slide some knobs, or they done lick some carpet, a couple carpets, or not slide a couple knobs before they got to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you getting something fresh.
Thank you. Now, I don't know about you, Dang,
but somebody else's kids. You know what I'm saying? Now, you might see her as a lotus flower, but somebody else saying, yeah, that's a flower that I watered all right. You know?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Back in my younger days, I had sex with one virgin, and I got lucky. But that was back in the 90s where people were still faithful and people were holding out for marriage. But now I kind of see where you're coming from, because a lot of folks be like, well, I don't want to have sex until I get married, right? And people like, why? Because I can't sleep with you the first night because I don't know who you slept with the night before. But if you can wait 2, 3, 4 months, and I know whoever thing you just sucked, whoever carpet you licked, it's out of your mouth, it's out of your system. You've brushed your teeth for a while, you've drunk some mouthwash for. You see what I'm saying? So even though you've been married before, you got 3 kids. By the time I start sleeping with you, your ex-husband's whatever was in you is out of you. You see what I'm saying? So I get that. Yes.
But it's the principle of, some dudes got that they got that reward or benefit and it cost them nothing. They were just happy. They were just a certain height, certain complexion, build up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the chick was just horny and loose, and she said, "Come on, get these cookies." Then the other dude over here got to go ahead, pay a rent, car note, and he got to do all this stuff. And it's like, well, dang, he got the same benefits as me, but I'm the one that got to pay. So it's not like you getting something brand new. You know what I'm saying? And people be acting like,
man,
they be treating it like that. It's an ego and pride thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you got a new car. Even though that lot done cleaned that car up, it still got rust up under it. It still got 175,000 miles on it. It still got old fart smells from the last person that sat in that seat. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct. Hey, and that's why when girls be like, "You playing hard to get," I'm not playing hard to get. I know you're not a virgin, especially if you got children. What? I know you're not a virgin, so I don't know whose house you've been over last night. I don't know what your sex. So if you trying to talk to me, I already know it's gonna be 3 or 4 months before I even think about laying next to you. And we ain't talking about sex. I'm talking about even just laying next to you to go to sleep. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you don't know what these girls have been. You have no clue. Especially now, man. These girls are having sex at 13, 14, 15 years old. No, dude, that's crazy. So by the time they get 25, 27, they done had 10 bodies, and you won't want to sleep with them on the same night. Boy, you crazy.
And here's the crazy part. When it comes to that, I think when it comes to polygamy, the issue wouldn't be men. I think it would be women. I think you're absolutely right. I don't think women are capable, the majority, anymore of just being with one man. They say that we're not capable. I think if a man had 5 women, the majority, I ain't saying all, because you got some dudes that it don't matter if they had 30 women, they still go out and cheat. But I think on average, the majority of men had 5 wives, man, they be happy, they be content, right? I think it's the women though, you know what I'm saying, that they wouldn't be committed to one man. Even if their household and they had all of their security, they had security and protection. I still don't think that a majority of them can commit to one dude.
And then here's another variable, right? So take a woman who was born a woman, right? And is either transitioning into a man or has transitioned into a man. So do they get the same rights as a man and to marry 5 women? Take a man who's cross-dressing or transitioning to a woman. Does he get the right to be a 5th wife to a man? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's so many variables. If me you had this conversation 20 years ago, if me you had this conversation 20 years ago, I'd be like, man. But in 2024, man, it's so many variables that whether they approve it or not, it's crazy.
Here's one that you didn't bring up, and I'm shocked. What if it was a woman with 5 husbands?
Yeah, because there's always women out there that might not be feminists, but they still want equal treatment as a man. So and there will be some dudes out there who ain't shit. They be like, well, you know what? I'll be your 5th husband. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I know dudes now who live with women. The woman takes care of them, pay all the bills, and then want to get upset when she wants to put you out. Well, you ain't bringing nothing to the table. She's supposed to put you out.
Right. That's crazy. And that's the other one. What if it was the women? Because I think the only issue, if you flip that around, I think the only issue, and I don't know if it'll work, is this point. If she got pregnant, I think dudes will have an issue also of wanting to know if the seed was theirs. She would have to find men that say, this is our child. And say that wholeheartedly, saying that it don't matter which one of us gets you pregnant. This is our child.
Right. It's like that anyway. I have nieces and nephews and friends that got kids. This is our kids. I ain't slept with none of them. But it takes a community to raise a child, right? So
yeah, some of them had that
but we
mentality.
still have that, right? We still have this is all our children. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Because I mean, your brothers, right? If they have children, you don't treat them any differently than yours. So basically, your nieces and nephews are your children too. Because if they in your household, you're gonna raise them the same. When it comes to Christmas, you're gonna make sure they got if they under that age. At Christmas, they're gonna have gifts and stuff. So basically, it's still all the same. There's kids out here that I help that I ain't never touched their mama day in their life.
Yep. And so I said, man, this was a great topic. Man, we lasted on this one for about a good 30 minutes. I wanted to go ahead and touch on some other.
It's a great topic, but what we could do if we ever found somebody that lives that life, because my goal is to visit all 50 states before I die. So when I go to Utah, I want to research that and see how it works. Maybe it could be a good thing, maybe it could be a bad thing, but that state, I don't know if it's good. The crime rate in that state, the employment, the housing, I don't know, because a lot of those people live simplicity. A lot of them don't have internet, and they live off the land. You go to Utah, it's a big farmland state. A lot of them raising crops and all. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't know if it would be a good thing or a bad thing nationwide. How about that?
I would say this, in my opinion, I think it would all come down to each individual parties, meaning that, man, there has to be some, some rules established. So there has to be a sit down where you sit down and plan out and discuss how y'all going to run it, first and foremost. I think right now, it's the bad part is the emotional part of it, right? People just having issues with not only mental stability, but insecurity also, which is kind of tied into that. I think on a lot of levels, though, I think there's more good than bad. I think a lot of relationships will benefit from it, especially you women out there that, man, y'all ain't slept with y'all husband in months. And there's dudes out there, I know y'all find that hard to believe. There are relationships out there and marriages. I got to quit saying relationship, marriages, where the wife hasn't slept with the husband in no telling how long. And vice versa, too. You know what I'm saying? Where the husband, man, just like, I've been having this for so long and she done gained a little weight and I'm just not attracted to this anymore. I'm just going to look on the outside. You know what I mean? And so to be able to have somebody tag team, especially if you're one of them ones that's just like emotionally or you're just not interested in sex, to be able to tag team somebody else in to cover that for you, it's a benefit.
That is true, because when you're young, you have sex like rabbits, right? So you remember the guy Hugh Hefner? A Hefner is a rabbit, and it's a rabbit that has sex with multiple rabbits multiple times a day. So when you're young, you're a Hefner rabbit, right? When you get a certain age, your libido goes down for men. So they might not be, it's not that you're not attracted to your wife, you just don't have that anymore. You know what I'm saying? You let it all out in your 20s and 30s. And then as women progress and they go through premenopause and all that stuff, they might not be sexually as active. So that's why when you marry somebody, you got to marry them for other things other than sex. And if you are a sexually active guy, then you don't marry nobody who's not sexually active as you. And
I'm glad you said that. And which brings to this point. This is why health is important. Because I know a lot of times I hear females talk about the size of men. And I had to tell somebody, I was like, well, are you motivating that dude to go to the gym? Or are you sitting there drinking and smoking with him? Because if you're going to be sitting there smoking and drinking with them, well, his body is okay to that when he's young. But as he get older, that's going to have its effect on him. And the first thing to go when a man's health spirals out of control is the libido.
It's the libido.
That's the part that goes first. So if you're concerned with, you know what I'm saying, him being able to be sexually active and having stamina, his testosterone, then you have to just make sure that he stays on it when it comes to his health, getting out there, working out.
That is correct. And then the same thing on the woman's side, right? If you don't want her to gain weight and to lose her sex drive, then don't have kids with her. Y'all use birth control, use condoms, so that way when she turns 45, 50, she still look like she's 25, right? But you can't have a woman have 4 kids and then all of a sudden I ain't attracted to you no more. You done that, right? You know what I'm saying? Getting her pregnant with 4 kids, you knew she's not gonna look the same at 18 and 40 with 4 kids. Come on now.
Well, here's the thing too. If you take her to the gym with you, give her, because if she don't want to put in the effort and then you want to leave, fine. I don't have no problem with dudes that want to do that. If you married a Ferrari and then 30 years later you had a Scooby-Doo van, and then you said it was a Scooby-Doo van, I want to, come and work with me. And, well, no, I don't want to change, and this is who I am. Well, that's not the person that you married. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has to be some give and take.
On both parties, yeah.
On both parties, yeah.
But, a lot of people in America, man, are selfish, and a lot of them are me. That's what got them here. I tell folks, me is what got you on this earth, right? So no matter what you try to do for some people, they want what they want when they want it, and they don't give a damn about who they hurt or what they. You see what I'm saying? So it'll always.
I'm glad you said that, Scott.
Huh?
You're right. I'm glad you said that, which is why I'm playing devil's advocate and saying that a poly marriage will work out because you can be selfish. You got more room to be selfish because if there's a day where you don't feel like doing something, you got help.
Yeah. And and there's some women, I'm glad you brought this up, because there's some women that's watching this and listening probably thought the same thing you did.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't say it out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there probably is some women that think, you know what? Ooh, if I had an extra wife or a sister wife or whatever you want to call them, here to help me with these kids, fold these clothes, do this, do that, I wouldn't care if my husband had a couple of nights with her because it takes a lot of pressure off of me to be a wife and to still perform in the bedroom. So there are some that probably
some of them in traditional
and changed their religion and became Mormon and are now part of the clique.
Because think about this guy. A lot of them in traditional marriages sharing the husband anyway. Husband like, hey baby, I gotta work overtime. And he working overtime, all right, he clapping some cheek elsewhere. And you already gotta do the laundry by yourself, the cooking by yourself, raising the kids by yourself, and then you get screwed over anyway. So what difference would it make if, you know what I'm saying, if that's happening with just you and him, or is this happening with you and some other people? Only difference is you got help in these other areas. On top of financial support.
Yeah. But a lot of these women still won't see it that way. I just know women that just don't get. I know women that can go.
A lot of dudes won't see it that way either. A lot of dudes.
Because what happens when the man can't sexually perform in that situation? Do the wives start sleeping with each other?
Well, here's the other thing. It will motivate men to be more healthy because men would know that they had to keep up with their health to keep up with them 5 women. So they won't be sitting around eating whole pieces by themselves and stuff like that. They know them women will keep them in shape.
Right.
They wouldn't even have time to get out of shape.
Right.
Think about
that would be true. I believe the majority of them would think that way, but then you have just some that's like, fuck it, I don't give a damn. I'm married to 5 women, they ain't going nowhere. So
then the women, I think the women should be able to bag out then. That's not what she married. So if she married this dude that was, 6'1", 180 with muscles and everything, 20 years later, now he's 6'1", 275, and his stomach so big that he can't see his feet when he pissing, that ain't what she married. You know what I'm saying? So then she should also have the right to walk away from that. people say, well, that ain't fair, but this ain't what she signed up for. Don't give me no car, and then you telling me when I got the car, the payments was $150, and then, man, 3 years into it, now it's $300. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, then that would be sort of like a divorce then, right? If you want out.
Of course.
In marriages, there's only two ways out, and that's death and divorce in a marriage, right? So I guess either way it goes,
it will be like a divorce.
Everybody. Yeah, you can't please everybody. Somebody's going to eventually wake up one day and be like, I want to do something different. I don't want to do this no more. So that's why me personally, no matter what type of shape you're in, mentally, that would drive me crazy to have to deal with 5 different female personalities because all of them are not the same. You're going to have some.
You know what? I think the majority of dudes can do it. And I'll tell you why I think the majority of dudes can do it.
Anxiety.
We got to work with 5 different females. We go to work and deal with these crazy baskets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you. That's why I don't like jobs where it's too many females. And I don't like them when it's a female supervisor. Even though I'm working for one right now, and she's pretty cool. But, and more times than not, you're right. It's some personal, and it goes back to what I'm saying. I think the majority of the reason why it wouldn't work is because of who?
Females.
I think the issue will be the females. Even in the traditional marriage, I think the issues is more of the female. Because it's not enough,
No, go ahead, I'm listening.
Because I'm saying this. It's not enough to have a dude that makes so much money where they ain't got to go to work. Right?
Right.
It's not enough. He got to be committed to her and her own, which asks the question of, this is the other one. What benefits do men gain from dating? We ain't even gonna get to the marriage. Dating. What benefits is it for men to date? When in the end, we're competing with other men to pay your bills, you know what I'm saying? Work our ass off. And if we making enough money, you get to sit home and be daycare. You daycare mom. For only about a good 10 years, because at some point, the kids going to be able to maintain on their own. So now you living life good. If you take the first couple hours cleaning, cooking, whatever, you got the rest of your day. Meanwhile, the dude at work, 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, he got to then come home, give his attention to everybody. Because he got kids, he got to give the kids some time. He got to give you some time. You know what I'm saying? And then he got to go to sleep, eat shit, and do whatever, and do it all over again. So what benefit is it for him?
None in all the scenarios, whether it's polygamy,
traditional,
monogamy, dating, marriage, being a man whore. There's nothing to gain. We all going to that same goal line. The goal line is vagina, and everybody's trying to cross that line to get to the vagina, the end zone. Right. So whether you get a prostitute and you get in the end zone that night for $40, or you go on a date for 6 months and spend over $600 to get into the end zone, or whether you have 5 women and you trying to get into the end zone, or one, we all going for that same destination. So it just depends on the man. How quick do you want to score, right? Do I want to score tonight? Okay, well, here's $60. Let me score, go home. Or do I want to wait until we get married to score? Or do I want to, how people say on the third date, you kiss? It's just, to me, it's just all up to the man on how quick he wants to play the game and score. And if he knows he has multiple teams trying to score that same end zone, then that's when he has to spend more money, take her out more, prove that he's the better man. To me, dating and marriage and just living is like a sport.
And I want to say this. There's a difference. It's a big difference in paying somebody $40 to go away compared to somebody like Tiger Woods, who had to pay his wife about $250 million. You see what I'm saying? 200. Look at Dre. Look how much Dre just had to pay his ex-wife.
I didn't see that. How much?
About 100 million. 100 million. So $40, 100 million. 40, 100. That's a big difference, man.
And the crazy part is, like you said, I guarantee you by the time Dr. Dre met his wife and who's else you say, Tiger Woods, they wasn't virgins. So I could pay $40 to be in a used car, and you paid $100 million to be in a used car. See, you know
what's even worse than that? Here's the kicker. So Dre and his ex-wife can split, right?
Right.
She got 100 million. Do you think that Dre is the only person she gonna be sleeping with going forward? You think that's the only libido that's gonna be going in her? So that means the next libido gonna go in her, and not even that he ain't gonna spend 100 million.
Nowhere close.
Nowhere close. You see how jacked up that is?
It's the world we live in, man. I'm
well,
telling
you. Think of what benefit was it for Dre to go through that? Somebody else gonna get that punani for free. And somebody else that got it for free. Man, somebody that took her on a couple dates, you know what I'm saying, got her into her emotions. She like, oh, I'm in love. And she done gave him that sweet, you know, that sweet pie, you know what I'm saying, for free, for a couple dollars. Dear Dre, he had to go through everything, courting, you know, dating, meeting the parents, you know, kids, you know, and now he got kids with her that he can't even see every day. Think about that. He can't even see them kids every day. So, you know, what the hell is Drake getting out of it now? He done made this investment that he ain't even getting the benefit of. Somebody else gonna be clapping his cheeks. And they ain't even gonna have to pay as much as him. Think about Tiger Woods' wife. You think, man, she ain't had no libido since Tiger Woods?
You know, she had.
That came through there and clapped that, I'll guarantee you.
You know she has. And you know she wasn't a virgin when they met, so he was just playing with time. He was playing with the house's money, so he was just on borrowed time. You know what I'm saying?
She left him because he cheated, as if he didn't have women before her. You mad because he had multiple women while with you? What about the multiple women he had before you?
In the tradition, that's supposed to cut off.
Yeah, I mean, that's traditional anyway.
It's like a girl marrying a Titan player right now. You know he's a player, and then you gonna marry him and hope that he's gonna stop being a player. If it's in his DNA to be a player, then you better put it in the prenup that you get X amount if he cheats, or you don't marry that man at all.
Right.
A lot of these things, man.
I don't know any man that's gonna be. Did Jeezy have something like that? Huh? Didn't Jeezy have a prenup like that? Because you know him and his old lady just got divorced. Was it something like that in their prenup?
Who just got divorced?
Jeezy, young Jeezy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you know that Asian chick was gonna leave him. Man, Jeezy ain't stand a chance. I'm sorry, Jeezy. You ain't stand a chance, man. You know, ain't nobody married no more. That's what I'm saying. If you look at it, the people that's still married, we don't even know that they were married. You know how many Hollywood figures that's married, but we don't know they married unless we literally do our homework. You never see their spouse around. But whoever thought that Amon Shumpert and Tiana Taylor was going to get divorced? Who saw that coming?
Man, people change, man. When God gives you free will, He gives you free will. And today everything is good, but tomorrow it goes to shits.
It sure do.
I'm telling you, man. Unless you can read a person's mind, every day that they wake up, they're a new person. When you go to sleep, that person yesterday has died, because sleep is the cousin of death. You go to sleep, that person has died. When you wake up, you a new person, a new day. And that's why you have to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself in any situation. Whether you got one woman, 5 women, or you just out here just sleeping with anything, You got to protect yourself, especially as the man, because again, like you said, what do we get out of it other than the end zone? Past that,
yeah.
what's left?
Past the cookies,
Yeah.
You really ain't really getting nothing out of it. Because if it don't work, you know what I'm saying? You lose. It's game over. You know what I'm saying? Game over.
Now here on the Nashville Cavemen, we don't talk about all, because some of y'all do have great wives. Some of y'all have wives that's been through hell with y'all. Y'all ain't never cheated on them. They've never cheated on y'all. Y'all been married for 80 years. Congratulations. Tamala Man and David Man has been married for 20-something years. You know, the ones that were married. I've never heard a scandal about them neither. So we're not talking about everybody. We're talking about like 95%. Not everybody. So the 5%.
You said 95? I say 99.
99. So the 1% that has found their soulmate, congratulations. But to you other 99, man, it's going to be a long road of hope.
I'm going to tell you, you're right. And you know, I wanted to ask you, so would you date someone who is popular online for having sexually explicit content?
To be honest with you, no, because I got to bring her home to my mama. And my mama old school. She's not going to do that. Grandmama old school. That's just a no. Even in today's time, if it's okay, if you got big mamas and stuff that you got to bring your spouse home to, nah, walk away from that. Walk away from that. That's not gonna last. I'm sorry.
You know what? I am in total agreement with you, because I'm gonna tell you, it's a difference between me knowing you slept with 20 dudes. I mean, that's pretty bad. I'm like, oh shit. Right?
Right.
But if I see one video where you like this, no, baby, I got a problem. I got a problem, man. I'm afraid that the kids gonna see it, the kids' friends gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Us being at an event and somebody, you know, man, be like, oh, such and such. That's Sucker Dick Sherry. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when it's on video, you can erase it when it's a rumor, right? This is hearsay, you don't know. But when that shit on video, you know what I'm saying? That's hard, man.
That is very hard. And the internet has just effed up a lot of things, because back in the day, even if you recorded yourself having sex and stuff, it was on a VHS tape. And to distribute that damn thing was hard as hell. Now people just upload it to the cloud and then everybody can see it. That's why you got to be careful, man. So all of y'all out there that's doing stuff you ain't got no business, when you around a woman, you make sure her phone is off. You make sure you see where she puts her phone. You make sure you no cameras in the house or cameras around, because people are trying to catch you at something.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. But I know me. I know if you got OnlyFans, you know what I'm saying? And it's like real sexually explicit. And some of y'all go about it the wrong way. Here's what I don't understand, right? I ain't the brightest crayon in the box. But if you're going to do that, why not put a mask on? All these ski masks out here, you can't put a mask on to hide your identity. Something, if you're going to sell yourself, hide your identity. Ladies, especially y'all ladies, if you know you out here home, hide your identity. Yeah. Why is your face in the camera? Why is your face in the camera with your pussy?
Good question. Good question.
I don't get y'all.
I guess at the time, some of them don't care.
And then y'all mad because we do. Then when we see you 7 years later, you know what I'm saying, and we judge you on that, then you got a problem of us having a problem with that. And it's like scallywag. You could have put this mask on yourself. You could have put this mask on and I wouldn't even know it was you.
But here's the thing with that though. Now, here's the problem I would have. If I knew up front, I would tell them no, because I know I got to bring you back home to the family. But let's say I didn't know. Let's say I met a girl, she's like, I have a past, but she never told me what the past was. We together, we married, and then 7 years down the line, I find out this was her past, even though she don't do it no more, but this is out. Now I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because I got a good woman, but I know I'm against people and go. You see what I'm saying? It's like they
I
tell you
see
don't
what
mess up
you're
your
saying.
credit in your 20s, because in your 40s when you need your credit, you can't get shit because you done effed it up. So if she did this in the 20s, I met her in the 30s, and from 30 to 50, she's never done it anymore. But it's out there now online for what she did in the 20s. Damn, do I break it up? Do I divorce? Do I tell the family, hey, I forgive her? Because that would put me between a rock and a hard place. That's why you got to get to know
It's
people
right.
before you get to that point.
That's why, and this is my advice. I ain't telling y'all to go out here and go on OnlyFans and none of this other stuff, or Beagle or any other apps that y'all are being sluts on. I just advise y'all, if you're gonna be a slut, be a smart slut. Put a mask on, cover your face up. They don't have to see your face. You don't ever have your face in the same frame with your pussy and titties in your ass. You don't do it. When you do that, it is going to come back to haunt you. You know what I'm saying? If you got a video out there and them cheeks getting clapped and you've been squirting multiple times on video, you want to have a mask on so they don't know it's you. Why would you do that shit? And you got your face and your coochie in the they like this, your face and the coochie just like that. Ain't even no denying, you know what I'm saying, that's you. You like in the same video. Why would you do that?
And you know what? For those, because I don't know how long OnlyFans has been out. How long has it been out?
I don't know.
I don't either. But for
I ain't
those,
even familiar with it, so
I ain't either. So those who've done them back in the day, 90s, early 2000s, we get it. But now, 2024, this man is trying to educate you now. So you 18 years old, you don't want to work a job, you want to do OnlyFans or start your own sexual website. Listen to what he's saying. Cover your face.
Cover your face, man. That's all I'm saying, man. Just cover your face.
But one day you're going to want to have a job. You're going to want to work for the government. And the government going to find everything. So if you want to work with the government, and they see your face on anything that looks like that. And then we just did the one about the teacher who lost a job for rapping. Imagine what you going to lose for what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So you just...
Or imagine having a good job. Imagine having a good job, because people think places of employment don't do this, but they definitely go online and type your name in and see what comes up. You think they don't?
I know government jobs do. You know how you go do jobs and some of them do background checks. The government do more than just background. They do a lot to get deep. So if you want to work for the governor, the mayor, downtown at the state house, even if you want to be a park ranger, they are going to go back 10, 20, 30 years. Hell, if you got pulled over for marijuana at 15, they are going to
know about it.
So yeah, just like I was online, Damo, and there was this woman, dude. She had tattoos on her neck. She had a tattoo on her forehead. I mean, huge tattoo all on her body. And she was like, "Well, why didn't they hire me?" And then it clicked to this guy who had tattoo. Yeah, like, what do you think? Why they didn't hire you? You was trying to work at somewhere where she was gonna be visible, and you got like a devil goat on her neck and something on her head. So
I think it was a Subway or something. It was like a Subway or it was some kind of job like that. And it's like, man, you're gonna scare the customers. You're in the business of customer service.
Thank you. You can only get a job at a warehouse, because I used to work for Journeys. But who owns Journeys? Spencer's. I used to work at Spencer's warehouse, right? I don't know if y'all know what Spencer's is.
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it.
Well, you know, in the mall, Spencer's in the mall, when you go in there, they got all
that's Spencer's. Yeah, I know you.
Okay. Yeah, well, they own Journeys too. So I worked at the warehouse where they distribute the shirts and the products to the stuff in the mall. You know, those people, I mean, they had nose rings, eye rings, tattoos everywhere, chains, because you're in the warehouse, you're not in the public. But you're not going to go sell Mary Kay in the mall and look like that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sure way.
But that's something she didn't think about. And that's the problem. Why you didn't think about this when you decided? I don't know what that tattoo was on her head, but she had like a devil goat thing all on her neck. I mean, tattoos up and down her arms. I mean, that's crazy. And then you get mad because nobody want to employ you.
There are certain things. Certain people ain't got the sense of ability go. There are certain things that if you're going to do, you know you got to be working for yourself in order to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like all the what you call it's on your face, all the tattoos on your face and arms and whatnot. You know, if you're going to be a tattoo artist or if you're going to go ahead and have your own construction business or whatever it is, then. But if you expect to go out and work for other people in that state of mind, what are you doing? It's just like weed smokers. If you know you one of them people that you smoke all day, every day, why don't you create something that's your own business? That way it's not an issue. Why would you want to go into the workforce knowing that you smoke like that? Knowing you can't put marijuana down. This job offering you $25 an hour and you can't even get the job because you can't stop smoking. Why? You know they're going to require you to not only take a drug test, but maybe even take random drug tests. So why would you even be in the workforce? Why won't you be out here creating your own thing? Go cut grass. You know, you like grass, get in the lawn service. Cut the grass, you know. You smoke it, then you can use that as I smoke it and I cut it. You know what I'm saying? That's a good slogan.
You're absolutely correct. So I agree, and that's what they was teaching me in my younger days. I ain't saying I listen to everything, but you don't see I have a lot of tattoos or piercings, none of that stuff. Because one day you get my age and you might have to go work for somebody just temporarily, and you need that $25 an hour for 6, 8, 9, 10 months.
Right.
And you look employable. But you got all that stuff spaced up and down your arms and legs and on your back and grills in your mouth and
like you got diamond teeth. You know what I'm saying? And you working at the front of the hospital. How might I help you? And you smiling and it's just, they can't even see.
Thank
you know what I'm saying? You done blinded them. They trying to hurry up and do their paperwork. Why do that shit?
And I've seen a lot of crazy people like at the Dollar Tree with like all type of shit in their hair. Man. I've seen one dude, he was working at Taco Bell, he was grilled out. But that woman that we talking about probably couldn't even get a job at Taco Bell or Dollar Tree because all that shit she had on her face. Like, that was demonic. What she had on her forehead, this big tattoo on her forehead, and what she had on her throat was demonic. You probably couldn't even get a job at the zoo shoveling poop with all that on your head.
Yeah, because kids, man, what kid gonna walk up and just be comfortable with seeing that? Think about it. What kid gonna walk up and be like, "Whoa, this look like an approachable person. This person looks safe."
Right.
I mean, man, I don't know. I know we got to get ready to go. I want to hit this last topic too, because I was watching this video and this cop was trying to arrest this dude. Right? Now, this is a grown-ass man. And the mother was just antagonizing the cop. Right? And so this subject, and I want to talk about this. What do we need to teach our kids when it comes to dealing with police officers? So, what are I can throw the first idea, or you can throw the first idea out
you there. Go ahead.
So first and foremost, I think the most important thing when you want to teach your kids when they're dealing with the police, that they handle the police the same way they would interact with you. What do I mean by that? Y'all on here watching, would you argue with your mama and daddy? Would you argue with your mama and daddy?
Right, most people wouldn't.
And if the question, and then the answer is no, then you need to give police officers that same respect. Now, you should also demand that respect from them, right? But it's just like if your mama asks you a question and she was like, "Why ain't them dishes done?" You ain't gonna get smart with your mama. "Well, I'm gonna do the dishes. Why did you ask me to do the dishes? I can do them when I want to do them. You just harassing me." You ain't gonna come at your mama like that.
Nope.
So come at the police officers with the same respect. You should tell your kids that.
They in a position of authority, right?
Exactly.
So when laws are passed, the police officers are to enforce the law. So when they pull you over, they are automatically in position of authority, right? All you
Right.
need to do, if you want to, because it's most of them supposed to have body cams, but some might not, is do what they ask and turn your camera on. I wouldn't say a word. I would turn my video recorder on or just the recorder on my phone. Then once it's all over, whether you sitting in jail or you went home and talked to your lawyer, you have proof of what went down. My experience, a lot of times, now, if it's a cop trying to make a name for himself, that's one thing. Or if it's a cop that woke up that's upset because his wife didn't blow him before he left, that's another thing. But in my experience, most of them, not all, but most of them, all they want is my driver license. You know, you're supposed to have insurance and proof of it. They just want my driver license to run it to see if I have any warrants. Once they see I ain't got any warrants, they send me on my way. Because a lot of them pull me over for like tail light out, brake light out, stuff that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, yeah. I got a ticket at Mount Judah 3 years ago because I did a U-turn. I was lifting. I was, you know how some people do Uber, but I was doing Lyft, and I got a ding to go pick somebody up, and I U-turned. I got a $205 ticket for U-turning in Mount Juliet. I didn't argue with him. I U-turned, paid the ticket, went on about my business. But I'm just saying I can't be in cars with certain people, and then they just get smart with the police because now all you're doing is just agitating them. Then they're gonna call backup. Then they gonna want to search your car. All this old stuff, man. Man, like again, there are some that's just off the chain because sometimes I did get pulled over like it smells like weed in here. I'm like, ain't no weed in here. Can we check your car? Sure, because I know ain't no weed in the damn car. But you know, you just have to be careful what you do and what you say because again, the majority of them they want to write you a ticket. They want to take you in, but they want to make sure that they do it the right way. Nobody wants to write you a ticket for missing headlight or tail light. That's not even worth the paper. So just give me your license. Now, if you ain't got no insurance or license, why are you driving?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If they pull you over for speeding, you're gonna get a ticket because that's the number one ticket is speeding. So if you get pulled over for speeding and you got your driver license, registration, and proof of insurance, you still gonna get a ticket because that's where the money's at. There is no money writing you a ticket for your rear view, rear lights are out. You know what I'm saying? The bulb is out. So they're in position of authority. That's what I would tell them. Just shut up, hit the record button on your phone if you don't feel safe. Let them do what they got to do, and then move on about your business.
I got even another one to add to that. So we said, you know, respect authority. I think you ain't gonna win arguing against your parents. You ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win arguing with the police. No. Second of all, document it, record it. You know what I'm saying? Because your safety is important. So tell your kids that, hey, turn on the camera. The camera is your safety, first and foremost, right? You ain't got to let the cop know that they on camera. Just record it. You know, I would do it. I just say this to advise you. You are being recorded, and I know I'm probably being recorded also. Right. And that's fine. What I would also tell you is when you get pulled over, have your license, registration already ready, turn your car off, put your keys on the dashboard, put your hand on the dashboard like this, and roll your window down. So make the cop do whatever you can in your power to make that officer feel safe.
Correct. That's right. Because again, we can play devil's advocate. If I can understand some of these cops, if they pulled over 9 black people and all black people have been mean, physical, shooting at them, just he's had a terrible day with black folks. And here my black ass is the number 10. He's already agitated. Because the last 9 black people he done pulled over, he's had up to here. And then here I come, I'm number 10, the black number 10. So I can see he's agitated, probably got his gun ready because he's been through hell. Even though you're supposed to treat each one different, but as human beings, if I've been bit by 3 dogs, that 4th dog, he's probably going to catch the worst part of me, even though he's not even trying to attack me. It's just what I've had with the other 3 dogs. So that's why he's telling you, put the keys up there, hands up, because you don't know what type of day that officer has had. If he's been in a shootout, if he had to chase somebody, if somebody swung and tried to hit him, if he might have got into a fight with another police officer, hell, who knows?
Right.
If you can make it as easy as possible, then everybody goes home. Nothing. Get the ticket, pay the ticket, whatever, go home. You know what I'm saying? Don't even show up to court. Just pay the damn ticket. Now,
right,
this is your 13th time getting pulled over without your license or insurance, you're going to jail. I mean, that's just what it is. Because they have it documented every time you've been pulled over without license, every time you've been pulled over without proof of up-to-date insurance, and too many times they don't give a damn who you are. You've ever gone out to the Who Scout because you've been driving too much without license or insurance.
You're right.
Or if you in a stolen car, or if you got bad tags, or back in the day, because they've changed them. Back in the day, we used to get the little green tags, and they used to write the date. Well, niggas would take a Sharpie and change the dates on them because they didn't have the money to go get the tags. So now when you see drive-out tags, they print them out now. Have you noticed that? I don't know when last time you bought a car, they print them out. You can't change those tags. And if the cop behind you look like those tags have been temporary, been messed with, tampered with, you going to the Who Scouts. So, so there you go. I mean, these cops, man, and then a lot of them, especially like in Nashville, last time I checked, they need an extra 150 police in Nashville. Can you believe that?
They're looking for right now.
Good Lord.
The police academy is right up the street from my house.
Yeah.
Literally up the street. And they're looking so hard for officers. Nobody want to be a cop, and I can't blame them. No, nobody wants to be and I don't blame them neither, but we need them because everybody is not at a point where they can defend themselves. You got little old ladies going to the store, and you got store owners, and you got to have somebody who's going to protect and patrol the neighborhood, which is what cops are supposed to be. Right. But when you shorthanded, and let's say something's happening, and it takes a cop 20 minutes to get to you, it might be 20 minutes too late. You're right. You're right, man. I'm hoping that things change around, man, and people go back to wanting to get into that field. But right now, I understand why they don't.
Oh, yeah. And it could be a lot of things, money, stigma. I mean, they shorthanded on police. They shorthanded on DHS workers. They shorthanded on bus drivers. Anything that's supposed to help the community and the city, they short on.
Yeah.
But look, we ain't short on rappers. We're not short on rappers. We're not short on ball players. We're not short on, entertainers, are we? No. But we short on those things.
Well, with the social media, people making money off of social media, they don't have no motivation want to get out and work. Make money online.
No. And if you have assets, man, I'm not against you going to get trained, go get your gun license, and go get you a gun. Because now Tennessee is turning into Texas. Have you seen some of the laws that the governor has signed? Like now, man, anybody can get a gun without having a carrying license, without being trained. And a lot of places that you couldn't go into with a gun, now you can. Do you know they're about to try to sign a bill, no lie, for have teachers armed in the classrooms?
I think they need to. I would want a teacher armed when I'm with the state of things right now. I want a teacher armed. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel protected.
And that should be a topic, but here you go. So
we might talk about that next week.
Well, here's the thing. So which teachers? Middle school, elementary, daycare, high school? Because if I'm a high school teacher and these children don't have a gun somewhere, who's to stop them from trying to get the gun when I'm not in the classroom?
Well, I think all the teachers need to have proper training. They need to have more training than we have as citizens, first and foremost. Second of all, I think that if you can't protect your school and financially solidify it where people can't, like that Cavemen school shooting, where that former student was able to easily walk in there. If you can't fortify it and keep people out of it, then you need to arm teachers. I need to understand and feel like that when my kid, I send them off to you, that you can protect them the same way I can. Because I know if somebody breaking my house, I got more than, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it at that. I need to know that you can provide that same security. And if you can't, then maybe I should just be able to homeschool my kid then.
Correct.
At least I would have a kid.
There's a lot of women and men that just don't believe in guns whatsoever. They don't have them on them.
They don't believe in them until somebody breaking in their house, 3 or 4 people breaking in their house, and they raping their wife, or you know what I'm saying, they sodomizing their husband or doing something, then they would believe in it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And but you know, it's still something they just don't and will not allow guns for kids. They don't want guns around their kids, drugs around their kids, OnlyFans around their kids. Anything that's negative, they don't want, snakes. They
need to move on the island. They need to move on the island because this is the United States of America. At any moment, you can be in the grocery store. You can be at the movie theater. Think of all these places that mass shootings have happened. Schools, grocery store, church, movie theater, concerts. Yeah. So you can be a fool if you parades. Yeah. You can be a fool you want to and not care. But all them guns are not, they here illegal. Not all of them were stolen. The majority of them are stolen for vehicles. And the reason why kids get a hold of them is because y'all say, well, no, you shouldn't be allowed in this building with it. So then the person leaving in their car busts the window out. Oh, here's a gun. All of a sudden now it's a stolen gun. That's how some of these guns get stolen. People want to carry, but then when they go to specific places, they don't allow them in. So then what is the person supposed to do other than leave the gun in their car? So when they get stolen, guess who's at fault? You are. Because you was the one concerned with them being able to carry their gun on their persons. You did that.
I just believe that no matter what laws you pass, criminals are going to be criminals.
Yes.
The teachers are going to have them or not. If they find out that teachers and principals have guns, whether it's on the hip or somewhere in the school, if they're going to be criminals and try to get it that way, they're going to get it that way. Or they're going to bust in your car and get it. Or they're going to bust into a pawn shop and get it. If they want it, they're going to get it. My thing is this. If 5 people come into a school with guns and say, hey, everybody get down. I don't want to hurt nobody. This is what I want. And then I leave. Right? That everybody say they've left. But the shootings that we've seen, they just come in like a movie, just shooting. Right? So I'm a teacher, whether they come in safe or they come in shooting, I've been trained. I'm shooting back and I hit a student and kill him.
Let me ask you this, because here's the question, Scott. Here's the question. So, if you knew that you were walking in the bank where all the tellers and everybody in the bank had a weapon on you, would you go rob that bank?
No, actually, I wouldn't rob it because I know they got a guard right there with the thing. No,
I'm just saying that's one guard, but if all of them had weapons on them,
right?
Would you go in there? I mean, you think a couple times before you make that move to go in there.
Absolutely. But I'm just thinking like in a school, a child or somebody comes into my classroom, points a gun. I got 30 kids. My last thing is for me to pull my gun and shoot back, because if I can talk this young man down and say, hey, whatever you want, take it, just don't harm the kids. But if I try to go pull my weapon and shoot at him, and he's shooting back at me, that's friendly fire. So that's why I'm kind of against teachers and principals having them, because sometimes you might end up being the reason why a child don't make it home, other than the perp. Now, if the perp comes in and just starts shooting, hey, it's fair game then. But some of them don't come in and start shooting. Some of them is there because they're sick in the head, somebody that pissed them off, and maybe you can just talk this guy down until the police gets there. But it's too much of a gray area. I don't know if I was a teacher, I would want to be around 30 young kids, elementary, with a gun on me like that. But I understand.
Let me ask you this question, because I understand, and you make a good point. Let me ask this question. So say you were out at a Predators hockey game.
Right.
And somebody pulled out a gun now you got your gun on you. They
Right.
pull out a gun and they shooting people.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Are you just going to say, well, you know, I don't believe in guns and let's see how this play out? Or
Right.
are you going to try to take the target down?
Well, I ain't took all, so y'all don't listen to me because I'm trying to sign up for this defense class. But that would be my last line of offense. If they're like kind of down the street shooting, I'm telling everybody, run this way, go hide, get behind me. And if he gets to the point where I feel like it's gotta get pulled, fine. If he pulls up and he's literally shooting at me, fine. But you have to be able to assess the situation. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, I believe in guns. Yes, I carry. Yes, I have a permit. Yes, I've been through classes. And yes, I'm going to take more self-defense classes. Because sometimes if you can assess the situation, you can stop it from happening. Not all the time, but just sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So no, I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe everybody should have a right to defend themselves. I believe everybody should carry a gun when it's time to carry. But you know, places like churches are supposed to be safe, but they're not, right? Hey, hello, Jasmine. Places like if I go downtown to get booked, let's say judge, I'm supposed to be able to go downtown and be safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Schools are supposed to be safe, but there's just some criminals who don't give a damn. Now, if me and you walking down the street, Damo, I got my gun, and somebody just starts shooting at us, of course, I'm going to pull out and start shooting back. But if he's kind of like up the street, and you're like, man, Scott look like dude got a gun, he starts shooting like, Damo, let's just go hide somewhere, get out of the sight. We're going to sit right here, and I'm going to have my gun out just like this. And if he comes around that corner, it's over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then for me to try to be a superhero and run up the street, and blah, blah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. No.
People are watching too many movies. That you should never do stuff like that.
And that's never going to work in your favor if you do that. Because then you done threw self-defense out the window because you were the aggressor.
Yes.
So now self-defense is out the window now.
Yes. So imagine a teacher that's not really, they've had a bad day. Somebody comes in with a billy club, a knife or something, and they feel that their lives and their kids' lives is in danger, and they pull out the gun and shoot that child and kill him. That's a fine line because they did come in with a knife. They did come to be aggressive. The teachers thought that his life or those kids' life were in danger. So he pulls a gun out and he shoots him. Is he in the right or is he in the wrong?
And see, I think that's the $1 million question. And that's the question that everybody got to ask because I know me personally, there's risk. I understand the risk, right?
Right.
But I think it's going to be bad either way. If somebody come in and harm some kids that you weren't able to protect, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't believe in guns,
right?
You're not going to be able to live with that. You're going to feel it. No matter what anybody tell you, if that kid was in your kid and something happened to him, you're going to feel it for. Yeah. And then I think on the other end, if you went to, you know, what you thought you were doing a noble thing, and maybe you a stray bullet went and hit a kid in the head and you didn't kill the kid trying to be defensive, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to go through the same thing.
Correct.
You ain't going to be able to lay that down.
That's
You're going to blame yourself.
That's right. You're right. So either way it goes, it just depends on the person, right? So if I'm supposed to protect your children and somebody just shoots out of nowhere and that child gets killed, I believe I can sleep better at night than for me to pull my gun and accidentally kill your kid. So then just ask which part of the spectrum can you sleep better? The child is dead. Is the child dead because some criminal woke up one day and started to shoot up the place and I couldn't save him? Or is the child dead because I tried to shoot my gun and accidentally killed your kid? I couldn't go to sleep if I was the one that killed your kid. Even though I was trying to defend your kid, I'm going to, when they did the forensics and the ballistics, well, Sky Black, that was your bullet that sent him to God. I was like, well, hell, what am I supposed to do?
And I think that's why also that there needs to be, like there's tornado drills, and they have them now, but there needs to be drills where they can put the kids in the safe place, and then the teacher can be out there doing what they need to do.
Right.
You would hope that the kids are off somewhere in a closet somewhere, ducked down, safe, where the teacher can go and engage an active shooter.
Right.
Like with the covenant issue. You know, I think if those teachers were armed, a lot of them kids, man, they were in classrooms, but they ain't had no weapons. So that shooter was able to just go from classroom to classroom shoot.
Correct.
You know,
that is correct, right? And then some of those school shoots back in the day, I don't know if it was the Colorado one or the Virginia one.
The one in Colorado, yeah.
Yeah, a teacher barricaded himself up against the door, so the bullets hit the teacher. The teacher died, but that dead body, that killer couldn't come in because the teacher died. So you have dead body weight, and that's what saved those kids because he couldn't open that door because the teacher. So if I'm in a classroom with kids and I hear shooting, my main thing is if y'all gonna do that, have me a door to where bullets can't come in, and I can lock it with a bolt lock, and he can't come in. Now, if he comes through this bulletproof bolt lock door, then I'm gonna have the right to shoot the shit out of this guy because he's strong as shit, or he got a gun big enough to blow that door off. So I'm for that. I'm for that. Why don't they have doors to where if you hear a shooter or you think a shooter,
they lock automatically
the door and all automatically lock that door. It's bulletproof. And nobody can come through on the other side. And then when the shooting's over, but you will have drills for that. But you will have drills for that, like you said. You know, like we had tornado drills back in the day as a child. You would have drills for that, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
But to have 30 teachers and principals and assistants, everybody walking around with guns like the Wild West.
I don't think all of them were needed. I don't think all of them were needed. I do think if you got 3 floors, you know, the principal, assistant principal, counselor, maybe they have them, and then a teacher, or maybe it's a gym teacher, or maybe, and I agree with that too, because a lot of these teachers are unstable. So you do got to be careful with that, because a lot of them sleep with kids. So do you want some, you know, a lot of them mess with kids, and you want that person to be in charge of a gun? So you're right. It is a slippery slope. That is definitely a slippery slope.
Everything. So when you have lawmakers passing laws, you're not going to please everybody and you're not going to protect everybody because you're still going to find loopholes in everything.
I think that they need to have, I think they call them SROs.
Yes.
I think they need to hire them. Why is money going into politicians' pocket and not into SROs and programs that they got to protect these kids?
Right.
That's my issue. They'll never have money and funding for school, but these politicians keep getting richer and richer.
And they can hire bodyguards because
they can hire bodyguards. Yeah. They can argue the whole debate of we're against guns. Oh, of course you are. You got 10 people with assault rifles. What worries do you got?
Ain't that the truth? So, like in high school, because I had sex education twice. I had it once at Wright Middle, and then when I got to Glencliff High School, I had a different, sex education class. Why don't they have a self-defense class? Why don't they have classes where people can be elected and learn how to train hand-to-hand combat and stuff? Because I think about this. You know how a lot of kids see their daddies beat their mamas, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them end up killing the daddies and going to juvenile or whatever. If that child is 13 or 14, no self-defense, he can disarm his daddy in a couple of moves and zip tie his ass up until the police gets there. But when you don't have training, don't think you know, you beating on my mom, I gotta go get a knife, I gotta go get a bat, and then it goes too far. Send your kids to self-defense class so that way whether something's going on in the household or in school, they know how to protect themselves and other people without the law trying to lock them up too. Because even as a gun owner, sometimes if you don't use it the right way, then they're going to try to lock you up too.
You know what? That is a good question, Sky. Because what is dodgeball helping me with? That should be the
PE.
You know what I'm saying? Badminton going to help me. How's that going to help me? Teach me something like self-defense. They should, like gym should be a karate class.
Yes.
Jiu-jitsu. That should be yoga, where you learning how to, be calm and, that.
Yeah. You should.
Why are we doing dodgeball and badminton? Steal the bacon. Why are we doing dumb shit in gym?
Yeah, because you can learn pressure points on people. You can learn how to, even if somebody has a gun on you, if you know what you're doing, you can disarm them before they even fire the gun. I mean, just any way to disarm somebody until the authorities get there. And then everybody's safe. You ain't got to worry about going to jail. Nobody's gotten killed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think they probably do have classes like that. But I think the classes that are like that are in them rural, white tea counties where they teach their kids that. You don't see that stuff in the inner city.
I know in Murfreesboro they have a jiu-jitsu class and bushido class, and you see the little kids in there, and kicking and punching. These kids are like 6, 7 years old, but by the time they get into their teens and in school, you're not gonna mess with them. Let that bully come and throw a punch, and he ducks it, and he slash you down to your ground and twist your arm, and you yelling "Uncle," you'll give up.
Sure will.
Yeah.
But you're right, man. A lot of this stuff, man, that they need to teach in school, this stuff that really matter, they don't. They don't even teach the teachers. The teachers don't even have this kind of training. And they got to worry about not only active shooters, man, how many scenarios we done seen teachers get knocked out by kids? Children jumping on teachers.
I just seen one the other day where this teacher knocked out this little boy. Now
I seen that.
Yeah, but he's going to lose his job, but he was protecting himself. The little boy swinging on him. Am I a teacher? Am I supposed to just let him beat me up?
Right.
But then I protect his teacher. And I saw one where this black teacher, she was a big black woman too. She beating the hell out of this little bitty young girl. And I'm thinking, you might as well go ahead and whoop her ass because you out of a job anyway. So once you throw the first punch, you might as well go ahead and handle your business because after the first punch, you done regardless. So there you go.
And let me tell you, that video where that teacher, the only thing I saw wrong with that video is when the kid was on the ground for him to step up and take that shot. I am not in agreement with that.
Right.
You're already incompatible. That kid was already done.
That's right. But in a fight, when your adrenaline's running and you black out.
Yeah, that's what he did.
He didn't look at him as a child no more. He looked at him as a grown man. So I knocked you down, but I'm going to kick you one more time to make sure you don't get back up. So I'm with you on that. But I wasn't that teacher throwing the punches neither. Because some of these kids.
Other than that, I don't think he was in the wrong. Other than that, I don't think he was in the wrong in defending himself. But once that kid was on the ground, you got to let that go.
Yeah. Well, again, some of these kids, you think they down and you turn your back and then you fucked. So
no, he was.
I don't know. Maybe if I was in the same situation,
up against the wall.
If I was in the same situation, I probably would have done it too, Dame. I ain't gonna lie. Once he hit the ground, I would have hit him one more good time to make sure that when I turn my back to walk away, you not getting up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say that I wouldn't, because I won't get fired anyway. I'm probably gonna go to jail, so I might as well get one more good lick in there.
If you laying down and I see you laying down and your feet like this, and I know you are, and the job already done. And it's in the position of your feet. If your feet like this, all right, it's over with.
So, the parents are probably going to sue him, sue the school the school district. And it was the child's fault. But him being the adult, he's supposed to learn how to disarm a child until the authorities got there.
Man, I think that's
not built like that. Everybody's not built like that. This was a black man, maybe in his 30s or 40s, who probably came out the hood in his younger life. And all he knows is,
little kid.
Yeah, these aren't no little kids. And so this child was swinging on him. And all he knows is, okay, let's square up. That's it.
Yeah, I would have did the same. I would have did the same thing. That's a big ass kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, man. Because if the kid would have knocked out the teacher, do y'all think it's right then that the teacher can go back and sue his parents?
I would.
Would that be right?
He would be expelled, and I would sue the parents. Yep.
Yeah, because then if we all in agreement with that, then it is what it is. Right. I do that anyway. Your kid knocked me out. I don't care if all you get is food stamps. I'm gonna sue you for that.
Hey, and then I couldn't go back to the school because as a teacher, my pride would be so I got to win the fight and get expelled or get fired.
Man.
Because if I lose that fight, where am I going in that city? I'm going to have to, and that's viral. So what school am I going to work for? Oh, they said teachers got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I be showing up in a Lambo truck or something. Your parents, I don't care what they get. And all they get is child support. Y'all poor? Bring that child support here. You ain't getting it. Your mama ain't getting it no more. Whatever I can sue your parents for. I think that they actually talking about that.
What's that?
There's actually a law or bill that the parent, you can go after them legally. If your kid go to jail enough times, the parent can get fined. And I'm talking about these are huge fines. So y'all better do a better job of being better parents. If they coming after y'all ass.
This is why
I did the best I can. Okay.
This is why corporal punishment needs to get back into the schools. Because where I come from, if we did something like that, you would tell them to keep you in jail. You didn't want to go home. Trust me. You weren't trying to going home for truancy, for acting up, for none of that stuff, man. When they took corporal punishment out of schools, then by the time these kids get to high school, they invincible. But see, coming up, you get your ass whooped so many times. By the time you get to high school, you got some act right. You know what I'm saying? No, they don't. So these kids are on cloud 9 by the time they get in the 9th grade. You can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna swing on you. I ain't going to school. Oh shit!
They acting like that in elementary. These elementary kids are emboldened. You know what I'm saying? And these are, little people that don't even understand their emotions. They may be going through something at home and take whatever it is at home and bring it to school, and the teacher not equipped, you know what I'm saying, to deal with that.
And then you wonder why teachers are falling off because they're not getting paid a lot, right?
Right.
About 10 years ago, the average teacher in Tennessee was making public school. Was making $28,000 a year. They might make a little more now, maybe 32, 35. But that's still nationwide. Tennessee is the lowest when it comes to paying teachers. So I got to not only take a shitty pay, but for 8 hours a day, deal with other people's badass kids and try to educate them on some shit that they parents ain't even educating them on.
They better people than me. Teachers, man, I got to give it to y'all. Y'all better than me.
Right. So did you see the thing on YouTube where the woman was like, in 2020 during the pandemic, there was a lot of parents, and I'm pretty sure she was talking about black ghetto ass women who were upset that their kids didn't go to school because they were tired of looking at them. That's one. You tired of looking at your child.
I seen that video.
You tired of your child being at home, and then the homework that they was getting online, the parents weren't even smart enough to help the child. That's why they send their kids to school, because these mammy and pappies didn't even graduate out of high school, and simple math equations, they couldn't even help their children during the pandemic when they had to be homeschooled.
Well, you know, the bad part is they changed the way that you teach. So the way that we learn and the way they're teaching our kids, well, of course you're going to have that kind of issue. Kid, they learn.
Yeah.
What did they expect?
Yeah. And so what the respect do I have for you as a parent? First of all, if you whoop me too hard, I can call the police. That's child abuse. You can't help me with my homework. So what good are you at a certain age? What good are you as the parent then? I can change myself. I can use the bathroom. I can feed myself. At 16, I can make my own money. Here I am, 16 years old, sitting at home, and I need you to help me with my homework, and you can't help me. You see, and that's what I'm saying.
But
so
you know what's fine?
For authority and stuff like that.
And that's why I always go back to saying that kids are more of a benefit to parents than parents are a benefit to children.
Right.
Because that, what you're just talking about, they don't help them even in relationships. Right. Most parents can't even help their kids understand what it's like to have a healthy relationship. You know why? Because they've never had one.
They've never
shown them what one looks like.
Right.
Financially, they can't help them. Educationally, they can't help them. You know, man, any construct, they can't help them. So then the question is, how are most parents even beneficial to their kids? The kids are more beneficial to the parents. The parent wouldn't have that apartment that they have if it wasn't for the kid. They wouldn't get child support or the financial help that they get if it wasn't for the kid. They wouldn't get food if it wasn't for the kid. A lot of things, healthcare, they wouldn't get if it wasn't for the kid. So a lot of adults benefit from the kid more than the kid benefits from the adults. How many children leave the house and they can say they left with thousands of dollars?
Maybe
they left with enough money to get their own apartment, their own car, life insurance, trust fund, a CD.
None. Not in my community. Not in mine. Nobody. We was already talking about when you were young, they putting the damn cable and lights in your name. So you already screwed when you 18 walking out. Yeah. So yeah, not mine.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Kids they don't benefit from having a lot of these parents. These parents be patting themselves on the back and creating the worst human beings. Folks grow up, you know what I'm saying? They may have a job, but then when it comes to a relationship or building legacy, they fail. Baby daddies and baby mamas all over the place. Kids don't know is that duck duck goose? Is that my parent? Duck goose. You my mama. You my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So and we always say this because I know I'm gonna conclude this. I know I got to get ready to run, but we always talk about how bad society gets.
Mm-hmm.
That it get worse and worse.
Right.
So that's a product of who? Of the people that we're raising. It just speaks to how we're raising horrible people.
Yeah.
I mean, we admit that. Our generation, we don't do nothing but bash the generation behind us. And it's like, well, damn, you at fault for that. What are you complaining about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's a snowball effect. So I just know it's gonna get worse before it gets better, man. Hell, it might not ever get better. It might not ever get better, but it will get worse before it gets better.
It sure will.
Every day you just gotta be thankful for what you got and that you woke up to see that day, because man, you never know in this crazy world. And it's crazy because back in the 90s when people were having abortions like the fast lane, the crime in the early 2000s went down because a lot of those criminals didn't make it on earth because the mamas had the abortions. And that's sad, but that's why crime was down during the Bush years, those 8 years that he was in office, because of all the abortions that the women had in the 90s. Ain't that crazy?
Yep.
When there's some people totally against abortions, they're bringing in all these human beings, and some of them turn out to be, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, man, you gotta let them know. Go ahead and plug in the show tonight because you guys have a show tonight, right?
Yes. The D Blink Radio Show tonight from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the replay from 9 p.m. I'm sorry, y'all. Had a long weekend to 11 p.m. So we have some new music tonight. Y'all tune in, man. I'll put the link up online. Y'all click in, listen, comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Any artists out there, man, send me your music at sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com. And in an MP3 form, because that's the only way we can play it on the radio show. And, man, we're going to try our best to expand the radio show. I'm trying to get it into Alexa. I'm trying to get an app going. But, we need content to put it on there so that way it don't sound like I'm just playing the same music over and over and over again. So yeah, man, just tune in, listen, support. That's all I ask. It only takes 30 seconds for you to just listen. And then if you want to go to offtoprecords.net, if you like the song, you want to download it or stream it or share it with your friends, help folks out, man. It goes a long way. How about you, Damo?
Hey, You guys, man, I'm
I
alive
want
every
to, I'm
day.
gonna cut y'all. May 4th, this Friday coming up, SMPW, Crossville, Illinois. Me and CAI will be up there versus Smoking Jay and D'Amico. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
Man, wishing you safe travels up that way.
Thank you.
Just want to let you guys know, if y'all want to follow me, I'm not really on the other social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, X, or any of them others. But if y'all do want to follow me, we had a good conversation. I wish y'all was able to join us because we talked about polygamy online before I started this show. So if you guys will want to be a part of a lot of the discussions that I have, and a lot of them are really good, join me on Bigo. That is the app BIGO. Now, when y'all get on this app, y'all gonna see a lot of stuff, and y'all gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" It's a lot of ass shaking and titty shaking. I'm just gonna tell y'all, but there is a fraction of the app that there is some, some civilness going on, and I'm a part of that fraction. So if y'all want to follow me on there, it's BIGO. Y'all can look me up. My ID name is BIG_DAMO. So big_Damo. Follow me on there, man. We be having a lot of good conversations.
Yes. Well, Damo, it's always good to see you, my friend. These Tuesdays, they come and they go. All the things must come to an end sometime, man. But again, congratulations, man, on the Bigo and all the success that you got going on over there, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm gonna show for the people that want to make money on a social media app. We get paid coming around, so every month I'm gonna show what it is that I make. So then everybody get an understanding. Okay, there is a where you can make money off of an app. And females is killing it. If you are a pretty female in any way, I don't know how you're not on this app, because there's females making a killing. And not all of them are shaking ass and titty. Some of them just really got good conversation. And they pretty, and they move the world like a magnet, right?
Right.
And so, it's beneficial for them, but of course, with all these social media sites, you never know what you're going to find on there.
Right.
You just never know. I wanted to leave y'all with this, man. The only thing guaranteed in life is death. So do not worry about small things. You can only control what you can control.
That's right.
Keep that in mind.
That's absolutely correct.
All right, y'all. We is out. Until next Tuesday, y'all find us here. Same time, same place. So till then, we out. Peace.
See y'all.